Congratulations, you made it into the Queen's Law Juris Doctorate program. So what now, you must be thinking? It's time to start picking your classes and your profs, like you did in undergrad. Yeah, no, that's not how it works here. When you get accepted, you get assigned to a section. This will determine which teachers you have in your classmates, and you have no choice. I expect this is that you will have really good bonds with these people, and as you will be in 6 of your 1L classes with them. So these will be classes solely with your section, then you will have 1 small section class, and 1 small section tutorial for ILS, whose plenary you share a full 1L year. So what classes are you going to be taking in your 1L? Well, those would be public and constitutional law, contracts, criminal law, ILS, property law, and torts. Let's tackle these alphabetically. Public and constitutional law, these are 2 sides of the same class. In the fall, you will have public law, and in winter term, you will have constitutional law. So this focuses on the intersection between public institutions like the government and individuals or private citizens. So public law focuses on the BNA Act and the Canadian Bill of Rights. Constitutional law focuses on the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Most of these cases will involve people challenging unjust laws. Contracts focuses on legally binding agreements between parties. You're going to spend the first part of the class determining if there is indeed a contract, and the second half is going to determine if the sections of that contract are avoidable or of no effect. This was my worst class. You may think it's easy or self-evident, but trust me, this is going to be one of the toughest classes because of this. Or at least it was to me. Criminal law. Criminal law is kind of like a subsection of constitutional law in a sense. This class focuses on the worst of the worst behaviors, or those behaviors that governments decides that we need protected from. The first half of the class focuses on the actus reus elements as well as the history of criminal law, focuses on Section 7 and Section 1 challenges to law. The second half focuses on the mens rea elements as well as excuses and justifications that can negate the mens rea element. This class focuses a lot on theory, and there's a lot of overturned laws and regulations you need to keep track of. I recommend you read the cases and readings the most carefully for this class, and make timelines of the changes to fully grasp the concepts. Introduction to Legal Skills, or ILS. This is where you'll learn the super basics, legal research, how to write a memo and a factum. Well, not learn, I guess. You'll be required to write one, and then you'll get the most devastating feedback of your life, but you'll get stronger and become better. And hey, better now than at your first job. Honestly, there was a lot of issues with the course being run when I took it, so I hope the future years have more helpful exercises, but I also will never fault my small section professor. This is the class in which I improved the most, but please do not confuse the memo and factum structures for how you will write a law school exams or essays. This tripped a lot of people up in my grade. Property law focuses on people's and things, not just real property. The first half focuses on physical items and who owns them, plus the philosophical nature of property, while the second half focuses on estates and wills, which I simply loved. There's also a unit on Aboriginal title, so be prepared to hear some overlap between that and your constitutional law class. I love property law, but it's one of the most straightforward classes you will take, so you either get the readings or you don't. Torts. These are the cases you will bring when somebody has wronged you. Torts is... I will never forget the first day we walked into class. My teacher said, torts is all about fairness. These are not rights you can sue on, nor do they come from the law. Torts are based on the innate dignity and the idea that everyone deserves to be safe and have the freedom to enjoy their lives. If you want to explain a torts claim, you explain it like you were talking to a 3-year-old. It's simply just not fair what this person did. You need to master the idea of a reasonable person and what is reasonable. Just reasonability, period. It comes up everywhere. These are things like your nuisances and your negligence or your nonfeasance. When you hear people suing each other, you are thinking of torts, most likely. So this is the list of classes you'll take in your 1L at Queen's Law. We'll dive more into the topics that these cover, but hopefully that can give you a brief overview of what you might be expecting to learn.